Here's the snapback. Here's the kick. He's got the leg into it. If it is good, and it is! Boston scores! A 49-yard field goal, and Indiana leads 27-24.
Oh, it's an end around one to throw. Page looking at the quarterback, and it's a touchdown! Page times Leno!
Penix rolling out of the pocket to a strong hand. Delivers deep down the field. Caught, touchdown! Fry Fogel again.
Welcome to the OEO Podcast. I'm your host, Michael Bragg. You can find me on Twitter. It's at Bragley, Bragggley. I'm here with former high school defensive back and co-host Brandon. You can find him on Twitter. It's at Brandon Dubich. Brandon spelled traditionally Dubich, D-U-B-I-C-H. What's up, Brando?
Just now recovering from drinking all of Seth's booze. Thank you, Seth, for letting me come over and raid your liquor cabinet.
Seth is clearly not recovered because he's not here yet, but he will be. And also a former high school defensive back. Our producer, Seth, you can block him on Twitter. It's at SayTop5, SETAH5. If you don't know why I'm dropping the credentials, it doesn't matter. But if you do, then there you go. You're welcome. Okay, we're here to talk about the frustrating game, second frustrating game in a row. Final score, IU 21, Nebraska 35. IU falls to 3-2. Nebraska improves to 2-3. We can just leave that part alone, right, Brandon? We just keep on moving.
Just keep the freight train right on rolling.
Okay, and because I've got some mental issues, I decided to watch the press conference again. I kind of want to watch it just to see what I saw today. And I just watched Baz and I watched CTA, and they were two very frustrated, upset people. Baz shows little to no emotion in any of his press conference. So just imagine like a normal 22-year-old, 21-year-old kid that you're asking questions to is going to be like very monotone answers and like whatever. But he was a little pissed. Sorry about that. But he claimed, which I thought was funny. We talked about this before we started. They asked him about the drops and about some of the issues that he was having with the backup wide receivers. He straight up said Nebraska was holding and bumping on every single play, which I was surprised to hear from somebody like him, let alone really anybody on the team.
I mean, they were calling everything.
Yeah.
So, I'm a little surprised he said that, and we didn't see any of that being called. But then again, since they were calling everything, maybe you could just get away with stuff too.
Yeah. I mean, that's part of it too. Yeah.
I don't know. Yeah. I mean, I love to see that emotion out of him though. I mean, because it's clearly he's frustrated with himself, with the team, and, players either fight or flight. And it seems like Bass is going to fight, which is great.
Yeah, there were multiple times in this game where I was never take him out, but never mind. We'll talk about him in a little bit. He also called out the 5 drops without calling out individual players, which I thought was kind of a leadership move. Like, hey, we all know what went wrong and we know who did it, but we're just going to move on and keep going. CTA, on the other hand, a couple weird things. One, Brandon, what's the color he always wears?
Red.
Black. That's right. He always wears black. Showed up to the press conference with a white shirt on. Goes through the whole press conference with a water bottle next to him. Took the water bottle off the press box or off the press table, stuck it underneath. Thought that was a weird move. Thought he was going to throw it actually because he came up there pretty hot. Talked, obviously about the good things that happened, one of which being Jalen Lucas. Some interesting things that came out of his mouth. Brandon, he's going to return kicks from now on. They're going to, quote, get him more touches, quote, need to continue with that, and, quote, it's a priority moving forward. I think that, and they asked him why it took so long to realize, or why is it taking 5 games for him to get this many touches? And then as we continue to go on, but I mean, the guy just turned 18, right? Is that right? Baz took a little shot at him today. He said he thought it was hilarious that he was born in 2004.
That's
if
wild, man.
Wants to make you feel old at all. But my goodness, man, I'm sure he'll come up later. So we'll save a little bit of Jalen Lucas talk for a little bit later on. But I'm glad to see that they're going to take some more investment into him. Obviously, redshirt is burned at this point, which is fine. And I think we knew, but we need some more Jalen Lucas, Brando. Anything else you want to add on Jalen?
I'll save it.
All right, let's save it. So you just gave away who your stock rising is. Cool. CTA did something that was interesting that had kind of bothered me for a couple of days. I want to know how many delay of game penalties we have. I want to say it was at least 2.
I mean, I've never seen one to start a game.
That one was weird. Yeah.
Twitter was lighting it up, and it was all of it was justified.
Yeah.
Like, how do you have an entire week to not know the first play you're going to call?
That was weird. And I think they knew it. And then I think Baz tried to, I don't know if Bell called it or if Baz has the right to call an audible at all, but it looked like they were trying to change the play and it didn't work. And you know me, man, first half timeouts to me, they don't mean anything. Like nothing. I don't care. And, to burn it, that's fine. But at that point in the game, I mean, it's hard for even me to defend it. So, but the other ones, and I don't know if you noticed this or not, just based off of how much liquor you did have and the fact that Seth had to text you to make sure you were okay and home. And he doesn't drive drunk. He was very responsible, I promise. He took a shot at Nebraska's defense, which was a hell of a gamesmanship move by them, Brandon. The rule, as you know, but many of our listeners may not know, in college, if you make an offensive substitution, and it may be the same in the NFL, Brandon, you can tell me if it is. If you make an offensive substitution, the defense is allowed to substitute their players.
True.
And for the first time it's been a rule for at least, this may be the second year.
Seth heard me talk about it for at least 10 minutes straight.
Okay. They used it to a T. So credit to them, but also they can go F themselves because they were subbing in at their leisure, was what the quote from Tom Allen was today, which caused 2 delay of game penalties at least. And then I think we burned at least one other timeout in a different situation because Baz is standing there like, come on, like, get out of the way, get out. I thought,
yeah, the ref is standing. When the ref's standing over the ball, the play clock can't run.
Yeah.
The play clock can't run until he sets the ball. So the ref isn't supposed to hold the ball. Then he sets the ball down. Then it's supposed to start. So what happened was not okay, is what you're saying. Correct.
Right.
It was 100% on the refs. It was 100% on the refs. It was a clown show.
That's what I thought. So, because I did not think that was like, because if that was a rule, people would do it all the time.
Yep.
Or your offense would literally never take a single player off and you would just have to carry dead bodies down the field or whatever after they've run multiple go routes or like whatever. But yeah, that was weird. He was asked about offensive line. He's some of the quotes: played better this week, but needs to get better. Recruiting, player development. Josh Sales should see. Well, that's hard to say. Josh Sales should see. I'm pretty sure I called him Shales again. Still, it doesn't matter. But he should be getting more reps.
Sell seashells at the seashore.
You guys try it at home. It doesn't matter. And the quote that kind of stuck out was, big picture wise, we need to get better there. So the area of improvement, we're not, we're not the coaches, but we think we are. And when I say we, I mean like the collective we as a fan base. The guy's not dumb. He knows what needs to be fixed. They just got to get it fixed. So, and then let's see here. Average, this one really stuck out to me. Average start position was 15 yards less than what Nebraska had per possession. 2 possessions started at the 1. Defense dropped 2 interceptions. One of them should have been a pick 6. And then another big one, Nebraska 3 for 3 on 3rd down in the 4th quarter. Just like mental mistakes, as you and I talked about pregame before we started. this pod. It's just things that you've got to clean up. And when they clean them up, this is a very good team, good enough to beat some pretty good teams and should have won that game. So, but props to Nebraska for pulling through when they needed to pull through, made some big plays, special teams, and some big stops on D. So anything else you want to add press conference wise, or do you want to keep it rolling right into what went right, which should be very short, and then we can get into what went the wrong way? So, and welcome Seth, by the way. Seth is here.
Who looks like he's freezing. Are you okay?
He does.
Yeah, I just woke up, had a nice little nap there.
And you can go to bed like after this? That's impressive. Good for you. Okay, what went right? Hard. What went right? We'll start with Seth. Seth, what went right Saturday?
I think they made the right decision. Again, this is barring a couple things here. Choosing Lucas over Cooper, it looks like, as burning the red shirt. I did not see Cooper out there at all. So he's used his 4 games up, if my math is correct. And it looks like Lucas is now going to be the third running back, maybe hopefully slot receiver, returner.
You weren't here when I was saying that.
Yeah.
He did say he's going to be returning kicks from now on. Need to get him more touches, need to continue with that priority moving forward.
Yeah,
So,
I think my tweets were pretty evident.
yeah. Of course, that was something that went right. I mean, for me, I left it blank. I think the same with Brandon.
No, I
right?
do have one thing. Seth only heard me repeat this 1,300 times, maybe. They started bringing pressure late in the first half and then pretty much all second half, which they've been reluctant to do over the first couple games of the season. And they gave up 35 points, but the defense, when it actually made positive plays, it was because they were creating pressure and they were doing it from different players from different ways. So I actually did think that in-game adjustment, whether that was Tom Allen or Chad Wilt, was a positive one.
Yeah, I totally agree with that. I can side on that. And then I guess I'll stick on the defensive side of the ball, which is weird. Again, 7 points came from special teams. And then you've got, for me at least, they won the takeaway battle, I guess, is what you could take away on what went right. 1 fumble recovery and one interception. That's
in my mind, they really only scored 14 points. Like 2 of the plays were just complete mental breakdowns in the secondary, and then a blocked punt. So like 21 out of the 35 points should not have happened.
That's 35 points now, right? 3 mental mistakes last week, 2 against Nebraska. That's 35 points at the second. They got to get the secondary figured out. And me, I'm pretty sure I texted this to you, or maybe I was just yelling it at myself or my buddy. Was watching the game with that literally had no investment in it. Screaming,
Loyola Marymount, right?
Yes. Why did we have Philip Dunham in the game on 3rd and 9, trying to be the deepest safety with the best player? I would say, I mean, he looks great. Jordan Palmer looks great. The best player on their side of the ball matched up with him. It made no sense. And that was kind of,
Aaron Casey was matched up with him a couple of times. I mean, some of the defensive decisions were like we weren't prepared for Palmer to line up in the slot.
I think it's just smart. It's smart offense.
It is. Yeah.
I mean, it's smart on their end. They did. I mean, let's look at their stats real quick. I haven't really looked at them. Receiving stats. That's it, dude. Like the next best receiver for them had 3 catches. And then 2, and then 1. That's it. I mean, he had 8 catches on, I can't even imagine how many targets, maybe 11 targets. I don't have the whole thing pulled up, but 10, 11 targets, I would say 157 yards and a touchdown with a long of 71. And that's that backbreaker. The guy was the guy that they were going to, him and the running back. That's it. I mean, Casey Thompson didn't impress me really at all. I mean, outside of his arm was pretty good. But his decision making,
I thought he was identical to Baz. He made, for every one good throw, he made 2 or 3 like, what the heck was that throws?
Yeah.
I didn't think there was any difference in the quarterback play.
Yeah, I agree. All right, let's move over to what went wrong. Man, it's tough. I don't even know where to start. I'll let you start, Brandon.
I mean, you got to control the controllables, right? And that's your own execution. The penalties were just devastating. Multiple third and shorts turned into third and longs. Multiple second and longs took in second and way too long, which pretty much killed drives. I mean, the penalties were just inexcusable. And when you're already offensively challenged, like, they're just drive killers. Like, some of the things you can't control, that you can. And when your margin of error is as slim as IU's is, you just can't. You can't.
No, you're absolutely right. And the one thing I was going to go with, I had two things written down here, but I'm going to go with pass pro. So again, I was complimentary of Lucas as being one of the decisions that went right. Using him as a pass blocker to pick up blitzing backers. He's just too small for that right now. So that's the unfortunate downside to using him in that situation. So figuring out a way to use a tight end to chip block, there's got to be some way to better help the pass blocking without using the running backs.
Yep. Completely agree there. I mean, it's just the situational awareness in the substitution patterns, whether it was Dunham. I mean, if you're going to have Lucas out there on an obvious pass down, force someone to cover him instead of have him block, because his success rate on block is going to be virtually zero. If you can even just fling the ball to him, you're at least going to get, your chance of success isn't zero. It's at least something. So, yeah.
Yeah. And then the other thing I was just going to add was, does Baz not like throwing to tight ends? I mean, I know Barner had a couple drops, but it just seems like he does not look their way very often. So
the thing there is, and I don't know if this has anything to do with tight ends, but like, Baz is a statue and he's having to run for his life. He isn't comfortable in the pocket. And when you're not comfortable through your pocket, you're not going to go through your progressions. And a receiver is always ahead of a tight end, at least in this IU offense, in front of the tight end. So I think the reasons he's not throwing to tight ends is because he just doesn't have the time to make his way through the progressions.
Yeah, I agree with that. I was going to I'll save that for later to talk about Baz. Sorry to step away for just a second, but yeah, man, I don't know if anybody else is going to have it on stock down, because all we do is pick on it the entire time. But I mean, the CTA said that the offensive line looked better on Saturday, but I mean, can it get much worse? So yeah, I guess technically it may have looked better. I don't know, how many sacks did he have on Saturday? Where are we at
only
here?
3.
But man, I'm 100% with you. Like, that's what I was talking about, because I don't think he played bad enough to get pulled. I mean, he wasn't great again. But what's the answer? The answer is just fix the players that are protecting him and give him the time to throw the football. I mean, how good was he? Go back to the final drive against it's turning out to be one of the best defenses in the country. Props to Seth on this, but Illinois, he tore that Illinois defense apart like it was nothing, up and down the field in that last drive. And just it was completion. He threw, it was 7 of 8, I'm pretty sure, at the end of the game for 75 yards or so, 74. And I mean, the guy's a good quarterback. He just has to have more than a second and a half to throw the ball, or maybe a half second to feel comfortable in the pocket. That's just the problem. So, all right, anything else on what went wrong before we move on to our stocks? It was a big silent no from everybody. So as I was taking a drink, I was hoping somebody would say something. All right, I'm going to start since I haven't talked for a minute, but I'll go. No, you know what? We lost. So we continue with a negative. We'll finish on a positive. Stock down. I'm going to go Bass on offense. And we just talked about him. As I said, I think he's a good quarterback, but man, he made some silly decisions. Some of them that could have really killed the game before the fourth quarter, forcing it into triple coverage a couple of times. Now, some of these, and at least the TV broadcast made it seem like this, could have been on the receivers. They were kind of all over Emery Simmons for not getting back to the ball quick enough, not making themselves available for when Baz did have to make plays outside the pocket. But still, the guy doesn't seem comfortable again. I mean, the whole comfort factor that I've talked about and not being nervous when he's back there throwing the football, that's gone for me right now. The first 3 games, as we've said, and I will continue to repeat, 2 of the 3 against pretty decent defenses, and one of them one of the best in the country. I never felt scared of him throwing the football or never thought it was going to be anything I needed to worry about. But for me right now, stock down is Baz, and we'll see what he can do on Saturday. But that's what I got. All right.
What do you think?
Brandon.
Where do you think he ranks in QBR in the country?
I thought you were going to ask Big Ten, but he's got to be ahead of Mertz, right?
I don't know Mertz's.
I don't know.
Any guesses, Seth?
I'd say in the hundreds out of 131, I think, right?
Yeah.
You're not far off. He's 94th. And most of that is because of interceptions and incompletions. I'm disappointed at this point. I'm with you. I don't think we can make a quarterback change because I still think his ceiling is higher than Tuttle's.
Yeah.
And I don't think Tuttle wins us Cincinnati or Nebraska.
Does Tuttle give you enough mobility to make the change?
I don't think so.
That's the only thing that they need, because he's a good quarterback. I'm telling you, I'll say it again. He's a good enough quarterback, middle of the road, top middle in the Big Ten. And he just doesn't get the time to throw the football. Now, granted, and I will hammer this home, and I hope that this doesn't steal anything from you guys. You're missing your number 1 playmaker on offense, and you're missing a wide receiver. And I've said this to a bunch of people since Saturday. Your number 1 receiver who is in the top 5 in receptions, receiving yards per game, and yards per catch, I'm pretty sure, in the country. Not in the Big Ten, in the country before last week. And he just last second gets sick, can't play in the game. Same thing with DJ Matthews. Went through warmups, didn't get cleared, out. And now all of a sudden you're scrambling. I mean, we've got decent depth, which I talked about.
So here's the thing about benching Baz. Well, I believe his play may indicate that that's a possibility. He needs to be your quarterback next year, right? If you bench him for Tuttle now, Baz is gone. Like, he'll just transfer.
Got Sorsby, baby.
If you're heading with a redshirt freshman, borderline 3-star as a quarterback, that could be really bad. I hate to bring up the Steelers, but like, now that the Steelers benched Mitch, you can't ever go back to Mitch.
No, he's
like,
done.
it is just now Kenny. If you bench Baz, it has to be Tuttle the rest of the way. And Baz, I believe, still has a higher ceiling than Tuttle. His arm is light years in front of Tuttle, right? So you got to stick with Baz, but you're right, man. His stock is plummeting.
Yes. And now, again, we talk about this, I think if anybody's new on this one, stock up, stock down doesn't mean anything. I mean, stock up means the player looks great in this game and hopefully you continue it forward. Stock down means you're not a bad player. No. It just means after this game, I mean, your stock is down. Nobody's buying Baz right now. That's all I'm going to say. Yep. So, all right, who do you got on offense?
I have AJ Barner. We really needed him to step up. And it wasn't just drops this game. It's been drops all season. I can't think of a significant play he's made, and we're more than a third of the way into this season.
He's got one. He's got one. Was it Western Kentucky or Idaho where he bounced off the 3 guys up the middle? I think it was Idaho.
That doesn't count.
It doesn't count, but I get what you're saying. That's the biggest play that he's got so far.
And here's my other thing, and this may be nothing against Barner, so that this is guessing. But when your tackles are struggling, you at least send a tight end to chip. Barner looks like he has no interest in blocking whatsoever. Like, when he is in there to do it, he is basically a statue. Like, he has no interest in blocking whatsoever. And honestly, we need our tight ends to be blockers right now, because our tight ends are turnstiles. or our tight ends, our tackles are turnstiles right now. So like he isn't blocking, he isn't making big plays, he's making crucial drops. Like I think we all know Barner has the talent to do it. We need to see the play in the field, and right now we're not seeing that from him. And we know the talent is there.
Yeah. Seth, stock down offense.
I was going to go with hands. I had drops written down as the biggest disappointment from last weekend. It was the 5 drops. It was, it's the whole mantra of next man up. I mean, it's exhausting, but the whole idea is you have to at least have the guys come in and be serviceable. Just make the plays they're expected to make, nothing spectacular. But those 5 drops were expected plays. They weren't these leaping one-handed grabs as you're diving out of bounds. They were hit them in the hands and they just didn't pull them in. And I think that's the most disappointing thing is you talk about the depth, and I've heard you talk about it for 2 years now, that the receivers' depth is off the charts and all this stuff. And, they had every opportunity to make plays on Saturday, and a couple of them just
Bennett,
didn't.
Simmons. I don't remember. Kobe dropped one. I don't know.
He had a nice game.
Kobe had a good game. Simmons had 1 or 2.
He had 2, I think.
Barner had at least 1 or 2. Holt Bennett had 1. I want to say maybe Swin had 1. But the funny part is the catch-22 on that, I guess. No pun intended on the catch part, but Emery Simmons, that touchdown that he had, that route was amazing. Beautiful route. That I think they ran a slant with the outside receiver, and he ran kind of a fake inside and then faded to the outside corner of the end zone. And not only was the pass perfect, but the route was great. So he's got flashes to be good.
Yep.
It's just
same with Barner.
It's the whole team, Brandon. We talked about this before the podcast. If they can, and Tom Allen hammered it at the press conference again, is the consistency. If the team can stay consistent and put a full game together, they're capable of beating a lot of teams left on the schedule. But they've got to do it, and they haven't done it consistently and for a full game. And until they do it, it's nobody's going to believe it. So, all right, stock down defense. This one's going to hurt Seth, I think, in the heart. I'm going to go Bo Robbins. Since the Illinois game, really since the Idaho game when he got his start, he's been invisible, I guess. He was good against Illinois. Again, another really good team so far, as they've proven. Possibly winning the West is they're all tied, right? Seth, is Purdue technically in first place? Is that how it works?
And Wisconsin's in last.
Yeah, but
coachless.
Yeah. But I think they just took Jim Leonard, which was a possibility for what's his name, or for Nebraska.
Nebraska, right?
Yeah, which is amazing. I hope they sign the guy that just beat IU. That'd be great. But either way, Bo Robbins, that's my pick. I don't want to kill on him too much, but no impact in this game. 1 tackle, that's it. Nothing. What do you got?
Yeah, I'm staying on the defensive line because I can't go. The entire secondary is stock down. But I'm going CO. I'm just so tired of him being put like Aaron Casey and Cam Jones have to literally dance around CO to get to the ball carrier because he is 2 to 5 yards being pushed back. It was very, very apparent. And if that happens to you against Wisconsin or Illinois, the team with like a really good offensive line, you're getting manhandled by Nebraska's offensive line. That is just, you can say the same thing about DeMarcus Elliott. The only defensive linemen that are really doing anything of the 2 guys from Ole Miss, Patrick Lewis does seem like those guys need to play more, and I need to see less DeMarcus Elliott and less CO.
Don't forget Tevis. Tevis had another decent game. He's also been pretty good all year. But yeah, CO's non-existent on the stat sheet. 0. He doesn't even have an assist tackle, nothing.
That's almost impossible when you're playing in the middle of the field.
It is hard to see. So, and it's disappointing because, I mean, DeMarcus Elliott kind of the same way. One tackle. Sorry, I just stole Seth's, but all right, stock down, Seth.
You took my 1A, my 1B, my 1C, and then you talked about D the entire time. So I'm going with the personnel decisions. Again, I harp on this, it feels like every single week, but whoever is evaluating the talent on the defensive line, I don't understand what you see versus what I see. I don't get to see practice, so maybe there's something that they're showing in practice that isn't translating to the field. I don't understand it. Same thing with the linebackers. And guess what? Same thing with the safeties. So I don't, across the board, the talent evaluation, the self-scouting, whatever's going on, it's not up to snuff. They need to, I don't know if it's one of those things where people are coming in and out so much they never get the feel for the game, or if you're always in 3rd and 9, you're always going to be, you're always going to be primed for giving up a big play. I don't know, but for some reason, it doesn't seem like the best 11 guys are on the field enough. And until that happens, that's going to be a consistent, frustrating point of emphasis for me.
Yeah. Can I ask you a question? Non-IU, I guess. So you watch enough Purdue. Is it the same thing they're doing, or do they stay pretty consistent?
I'd say they probably play about 20 to 24 defensive players. So probably they go full 2 deep.
Okay.
But it's mostly when people are gassed, not when people are, it's not so much for scheme based. It's not, they don't have a passing defense and a rushing defense. I
feel like defensive lines, they're just swapping them out every other drive. So you're not staying consistent with that. I mean, if they can, if the offense didn't just go 30-second 3 and out, which is part of it, which is a kind of part of us, if you want to call a stock down again on the offense, is the fact that, it's again, another double-edged sword where you're saying, you want to run a fast-paced offense. You want to be confusing for the defense. But at the same time, if you're going 3 and out, you're off the field quick, and that kills your defense. So,
and when you bring in 9 defensive players on 3rd and 8, they know what you're doing. Yeah. There's no like, oh, this is their passing scheme defense. I don't know. Of course it is.
Yeah. All right. Let's, we've spent so much time on this game already. We need to just maybe fly through this part. Let's do it real quick. Stock up on the offense. Who do you got?
For me, I mean, it's Jalen Lucas. The guy's an absolute stud. That double juke. I don't know if I've ever seen a juke in that quick succession from a college player. That was so impressive. I've watched it on my phone probably 10 times. Yeah, I mean, he needs to get at least 10 touches a game.
He's very good, and I would expect him to see a lot of the ball on Saturday. Seth?
I'll go with another underutilized running back. I'm going with Josh Henderson. I like what he does. I think when he gets on the field, points go on the board. And the fact they're not utilizing him enough is, it's a sacrilege. So get him involved, get Lucas involved. I feel like we know what the formula is, and it's just not coming together. They got to force it. They got to force a way to get both those running backs at least 10 touches a game.
Yeah. Only error I really saw from Henderson on Saturday was a sack. And I don't know if it was, Parker Hanna basically just let the guy go, thinking that Henderson was going to take him, and he didn't because he ran a route. So whether he was supposed to stay in and chip the guy, I don't know. But yeah, I'm going to go with a guy that I've talked about all season, that I think is a really good player, and he's still really young, and that's Anderson Kobe. Had a good game this game, 5 catches, 54 yards. Finally showed, what a little bit of burst that he's got, his good hands. He's finally starting to catch the ball, which is great. I think he's going to be a big factor down the stretch, and I think that's going to be your emergent third wide receiver, Seth. So on defense, Brandon.
For being the Noah Pierre podcast, we haven't talked about him a lot this year, but I thought he had a great game. Mm-hmm. He seemed to be around the ball a lot. Husky was a big position that we didn't know who he was going to fill. It's not a natural position for him. If you look at what most Huskies are, it's not his build, but he's playing the position really well, and he had his best game on Saturday night.
Yeah, 4 tackles, 2 sacks. So, and another quarterback hurry. So he was good on Saturday. Really quick off that edge, and unblocked every time. So, Seth, what do you got?
I just want to let Brandon know real quick that we have another guy who is not a fan of nice Brandon. So we'll talk about that later.
Okay.
Yeah. This one's a good one though. Oh shoot, where was I at here? All right. I had Miles Jackson. It just seems like that guy tends to be in the right place at the right time. He had the interception and a fumble recovery previously, and he ended up being the recipient of the touchdown. So, again, just one of those guys who happens to be in the right place. Seems like more often than not.
I'm sorry, who did you pick? Because I was looking for whoever you were talking about on Twitter.
Miles Jackson.
Miles Jackson, yeah, they're giving him credit for 2 fumble recoveries on ESPN, but there's only 1. But yeah, he's made some big plays in the last couple games, and without him, I'm not sure we would even be in 3-2. So for me, I've got 2 left, man. I know one of them, his stock can't be any higher, and that's McCullough. I thought he had another really good game, stood out. He was incredible. So the more national attention that he gets, hopefully the better for IU, and the better for us. You know, again, I'm always going to be worried that he's just going to, not even going to say it, but the real one is, and this one's going to hurt Brandon, is Bryant Fitzgerald. I think had himself a game on Saturday when he was in. I mean, he was making some pops. He was hitting some big time hits, came up big in the run game a few times, made some good stops to force a 4th down a couple times. Bryant Fitzgerald had a really good game.
His run fills were very good.
Fantastic. Yeah. I don't think that's ever really been Brandon's complaint. I think Brandon's complaint is him in pass coverage, and it's hard to argue with that. I get it. But he had himself a good game on Saturday. Okay, let's anybody else, and then we can keep it rolling. Let's keep it rolling. Speaking of rolling, Mona on Track Club is still running on Tuesdays. We're still doing all the group runs and stuff like that. They are Indiana's running brand built on a deep love for the sport and the Hoosier State. They craft products, tell stories, and create experiences that aim to celebrate, support, and add to Indiana's running culture. Check out the link in the show notes and on Twitter for details on their club runs, which I just talked about. It's every Tuesday night at a pretty cool barbecue spot down in Broad Ripple-ish area. They run with a bunch of people. Check it out. They also have some cool merch, hoodies, koozies, all that cool stuff. As a thank you to our listeners, they're offering 10% off your order. It's LEO10 at checkout, LEO10. All right, let's revisit predictions real quick, and then we'll get to the fun part of the podcast, hopefully, and then we'll wrap it up. Nobody was close. I guess Seth wins again, maybe with closest wrong score. Seth had us winning 34-33. Brandon had us winning 41-38. I had us winning 45-31. We don't need to revisit those anymore. Brando's Randos. What's up, Brando? What do you got?
I hate to talk about the elephant in the room. I know this answer, but I'm going to ask: has the fan base turned on this team?
I'm going to say the majority no, but they're on edge.
So are you saying there is a vocal minority?
Yes.
Okay.
Is
it prominent people within the IU fandom?
Prominent people? No, I just think it's
people with voices.
Well, there's one person with a voice, yes, but honestly, like, or a couple people maybe, but like those people, I'm going to say this again. What were the expectations of this year? They couldn't have been
6-6.
They're 3-2. They're 3-2 with 7 games to go. With it, like what we talked pregame, with maybe 4 winnable-ish games left. I mean, as Seth said, we're probably not going to be favorite in any, if not maybe 1 or 2 more games the rest of the way, unless they can turn something around. Maybe on Saturday they put on a show, or they beat Maryland the following Saturday, which is one of those 4 games. But any of those, there are 4 games at least that are left on that schedule that IU is going to go in with a decent shot at. And that's enough to go in at 7-5. And I'm not saying you lay over for a rollover for Michigan, Ohio State, and Penn State either. 2 of those 3 games are at home. We know what's happened. Whenever we usually play Penn State at home, it's always a close game. So we'll see what happens, man. And you saw honestly, you saw what Purdue did against Penn State. They should have won the game. and they lost to, I don't even know, bad team. I can't even remember. So who was it, Seth?
Which one? Syracuse?
Yeah, that one. Or the other one before that.
Penn State.
No, there
Those
was
are-
like one more, right?
Those are our 2 losses.
Oh, you guys almost lost to FAU.
Yeah,
That's
we almost lost FAU.
Almost lost to FAU.
Yeah.
Cool. All right, Brandon.
For the fans that have turned, what does this team have to do to get it back?
Just win. Literally just win or show some sort of
Because I don't think there's anything. Like I don't think there's anything that
they
can
just
do.
win.
I think the 20 to 30% of fans IU gained in the COVID season is what's falling off. I really do. And like,
are those the fans at the games, Brandon? Are those the fans that buy tickets and go to the games? Because I'm going to say no. And I don't care. If they don't go to the games, then I don't care. If they're not like legitimately invested in this team, I don't care. If they're watching, if they've got, what is it on now, Seth? Peacock? If they've got Peacock on one TV and Big Ten Network on the other TV, or ESPN or ESPN2 or whatever I use on Fox this Saturday, then I don't care what their opinion is.
Oh,
so I just don't. Then. You go ahead.
All right. I think there's a section of the fan base that is just counting down the minutes till midnight madness, and football is just a passing fad to, keep the clock ticking.
To get mad. Yeah, right. So that they can get mad at basketball season again.
Yep, exactly. So I think there's a lot of people out there who are like that. Nothing against them. I mean, that's, if they want to be basketball people, that's fine. But like the whole point is, you want to develop a fan base that is consistent and not worry about the ones who are kind of flighty and seasonal.
Yeah. So I know we talked about like wrapping this episode real quick. So let me just say something real quick. So Northwestern just comes out with the fact that they're going to build an $800 million stadium or something like that. So in a smaller stadium than what they have, I think is how it was tweeted out.
They can't fill the one they have now. So yeah.
Yeah. And I think it's what it said, like a small-ish venue that's for like concerts and everything else.
Yep.
Which makes sense for that area of Chicago to have another venue, somewhere else so they can go. And everybody's like, IU needs to catch up. Guys, we just closed the bowl 4 years ago. They just updated the locker room 2 years ago. Like, they're investing and it's not shown. I mean, look, we put in lights. I'm not going to say that that's a huge investment, but they put in lights. We've talked about this. I don't even know how many times. You win, you get money, you invest into the program. And I get everybody's going to be screaming, well, if you don't invest in the program, you can't get the recruits and then you can't win. The recruits are here. I mean, their recruiting classes the last 3 years have been the best, if not 3 of the 5 best recruiting classes in the history of the program. They're here. It's just getting them to fit the system. Again, you're in your second offensive coordinator in 3 years, third defensive coordinator in 3 years. It's consistency and getting them to follow through with the game plan. And this is a good team, good enough to go to a bowl, good enough to be 6-6, maybe 7-5. But I think that a lot of these fan base people, they just need to just calm down. Stop reading the freak out media people and stuff like that, and just watch. You're not paying attention. That's the only thing. So continue.
All right. Need intervention, guys, if it's necessary.
Okay.
So far this season, you've got positive Brandon. Saturday night was reactionary on Twitter, Brandon. Do I need to take a hiatus from Twitter?
Yeah, man, I saw some of your reactions. One of which you may have kind of hinted at a little bit ago. A hiatus, I don't know, but I can't believe Seth. Was Seth not paying attention to you on your phone? Because
no, this is all happened when I got home. This is
I was gonna say.
Oh no, he muted himself as he was talking.
No, he was not
mute himself.
Yeah, no, he was on. He was not on while he was at my house.
I was not on. That was me. Went home and drank a whole lot more, and then got really mad because I was just. Yeah.
So here's my thing, Brandon, and you know the way that I react. Like, I was sick to my stomach after that game. So like,
I was really mad.
I couldn't wait. Yeah,
really
yeah, of
mad.
course. I could not wait, and I can't believe I'm about to say this. I couldn't wait for Sunday at 1:00 so that the Colts could come on and I could forget, hopefully, and it didn't turn out that way. Hopefully, forget about what happened in Nebraska until we had to talk about it today. And I could at least feel better for a little bit, and it didn't work. None of our teams.
At least you didn't lose to Zach Wilson,
and he didn't gritty in your end zone.
He did gritty
after a touchdown catch. Yes.
It was a bad weekend for that.
It was a bad weekend for our NFL teams. Hashtag fire Gus Bradley to the moon. But yeah, there we go.
All right, last one.
What I was saying was just stay off Twitter after a while. Don't go to Twitter. Don't go to the message boards. It's not good for your health.
I've stayed off the message boards, but yeah, Twitter. That was probably my worst Twitter meltdown I think I've ever had.
Stay off Twitter.
What did your California friends think of your fandom? Because, California fans of any sport aren't exactly the most passionate. What were their Sunday morning thoughts of Bragg's IU fandom?
So he watched it with me in the barn. As I've explained before, this is not a typical barn. It's a very nice barn. We watched it out there. I watched it out there by myself for a little bit to stay away from things as I was screaming profanities and good profanities and bad profanities, and you know what I mean. They were cool with it, man. I say he's a California graduate, but he's from Seth, maybe you can help me, right outside of Danville, Illinois, but on the Indiana side, like the very next exit.
Covington?
It's close-ish to that. But he's on like the west side of Indiana, was where he was born. And always grew up a big Colts fan. So when he watches the Colts, for me, it's kind of the opposite. Like I enjoy the Colts. I'm a big Colts guy. Whenever I go to the game, I get more into it, similar to like what I am at an IU game. But watching it at home, I'm not as like upset as I am watching an IU game necessarily. But he's the same way I am, but with the Colts. He just doesn't get into college sports, I guess, the same way that we do. So, but he was fine. He knew what to expect. He also got up at 6:30 in the morning to watch Arsenal with me. So he saw
heck of a sport.
It is heck of a sport. He and speaking of that, they won. So at least my weekend wasn't a total wash. So that's great. But no, he knew what to expect.
All right. That's all I got.
Okay. Seth, reach into your sack, make it quick, and let's get out of here.
Yeah, you already took my Paul Chris thunder. Fired from Wisconsin, Jim Leonard in. He was one of my favorite players when I was a kid. One of those undersized safeties. I think he was a walk-on, eventually became like a long-term starter.
Did he play in the
NFL?
NFL?
He was with the Ravens and the Jets, maybe in the opposite order, if I remember correctly.
Punt returner, I think, in the NFL.
That too. I know he hasn't coached a game yet, so this is a ridiculous question. But do you think he gets a fair shot, or do they try to land a bigger name?
No, I think they sign him. I think if he wins, man, I gotta look at their schedule. Hold on.
They haven't played hardly anybody yet, so
I know, and they've lost some bad games, right? Okay, so let's look at their schedule. Man, they've got some tough ones coming up. And they played some tough games. Washington State's not a bad team. So they're 2-3 with losses to Washington State, at Ohio State, and Illinois. So they've got Northwestern coming up, which is a good game, I guess, for a first-time head coach.
Uh-huh.
And then they're at Michigan State, so it's not that hard. Then they've got Purdue coming in. They've got Purdue coming in, which is it doesn't matter who's coming in.
Wisconsin beats the hell out of Purdue every time.
Randall, yeah. You've got Maryland coming. I mean, there's a shot there, Seth, for 4 wins right off the bat. And then you got Iowa away, and then you got Nebraska away. That's another win. And then you've got Minnesota at home for the trophy. I mean, I think if they make a bowl, which I would say they should, but I haven't really watched any Wisconsin. I know they can be really bad. I would say if they make a bowl, they keep him.
Yeah, I just always wonder if he is a homegrown kid, so you'd think that he would definitely want the job. I always think that those like kind of really good coordinators are sometimes appreciated at other schools as kind of the prize coaching coup. So I always get kind of curious as to whether or not that guy is going to stick. I hope he does. I think he's probably going to be a good coach, but just always wonder if he's going to get a fair chance or not, or if some other school would be more attracted to him, pay him a hell of a lot of money. All right. Another thing Brandon and I talked about Saturday. This is a guy who I normally can't stand calling games. And I hope you didn't talk about this early, but Matt Millen was startlingly lucid. He has some games where he just, it sounds like he's just munching on a bag of marbles. And he's got brain soup going. But he was on top of things. He was calling out the right players. He was calling out schemes. He was questioning the refs when they were doing stuff that didn't make any sense. And it made me feel like the things I was seeing was being validated, which is sometimes a terrifying thing.
And we were definitely making jokes. We're like, we are agreeing with everything Matt Millen is saying. Like what is going on here? We talked about that a lot. Matt Millen was the best part of that game.
Yeah. So for a very kind of less than amazing game to watch, his insight was spot on most of the time. So good for him.
Only negative thing I have to say about that is I thought that maybe he had aged quite a bit.
Well, that's seen him. Yeah. So the last time I saw him, he was struggling to walk upstairs or something. They were doing some promo about how he was coming back from something. I don't know. I have no idea. I can't remember what it was. So I'm probably a terrible person, but it was just, it was a good call. And I think we like to poop on the announcers a lot because sometimes I'll watch games on mute because they're unlistenable. Mm-hmm. But when it's good, call them out.
All right. That's it. All right. I don't think I have any final statements left. I think we've talked about some of the complaints that I've had. Mainly with our some of our fan base, which kind of we touched base on last week as well. I get it. You do you. I'm not going to be mad at anybody individually. It sucks, man. Because these, if anybody's going to, the team's 3-2. The team is 3-2. Sure, there's an uphill battle the rest of the way with Michigan State, Penn State still on the schedule. You got some other tough games, obviously, on the road. So there's just support the team, man. They're amateur players.
And here, sorry to cut you off, but I think this is a perfect segue into my final statement. The path to six is still there. That's what I was telling Seth on Saturday, right? Like Michigan State looks beatable. Maryland looks beatable. Rutgers, we know, is beatable. There's your 3. Is the margin of error pretty much gone now? Yes. The margin of error is gone. You now have to win 3 of 4 games, that 4th game being Purdue, right? So the margin of error is gone, but the season isn't lost. And we all came into this season as optimistic IU fans. We're still optimistic IU fans, but the goal was always 6 or 7 wins. In 6 or 7 wins, you can still clearly draw a map to. Yeah. So, the last 2 Saturdays have sucked. The last 2 Saturdays, his teams looked really bad, but Cincinnati's a really good team, and you played a extremely desperate team, right? Like that wasn't Nebraska's Super Bowl, right? But they're embarrassed. They've been embarrassed. So I don't know, maybe this is me just making excuses, but I still see, a path to where we're calling this season a success.
You want to poo on a fan base? We pooed all over Nebraska's fan base, but guess what? They sold that stadium out again for how many 300 some odd straight sellouts? They're not good. We lost to them, which again, Brandon said it was a desperate team making, they made the plays they needed to make to win the game, and we made a bunch of mental mistakes, and it is what it is. It happens in college football. It happens all the time. But yeah, we just need, the support needs to be there. The support will be there from the people that understand that and really want this team to succeed. And that's all that matters. So Seth, anything else?
Yeah. Quick Matt Millen clarification here to cover my ass. Yeah, he had a heart transplant. They apparently had found some issue in his heart that he was having issues creating protein or and he had a shortness of breath. So that's what the video of him walking up the stairs was. Yeah, so very good to know that he's in much better health and that things are going well for him. So yeah, just make sure that that's a separate comment. But I was solely talking about his commentary skills were sometimes less than amazing. But
yeah, sorry about that. Sorry, Matt. Sorry for saying you looked a little rough. My bad, bud. Didn't know that. And good luck for you. And you look great for that being done. So real quick, again, we got another home game coming up. Brandon, are you going to finally show up?
Babysitter has been booked. So yes.
Okay, perfect.
As of right now, I am going. However, as Seth knows, I like to hedge bets. So we also did put our tickets up for quite expensive. So if I can get what I put the tickets out for, I'm not going to say it on this podcast, but if I can get the money I want to get for them, then I'm not going to go. So babysitter is booked. I plan on going, but if I can make a profit, I'm going to make a good profit.
All right. That's what's wrong with our fan base. I will be there. It's going to be football weather day. So I think by the time we get out there, probably mid 40s, low 40s, somewhere along there for the tailgate. We'll have it up. We'll have the new canopy. I showed Brandon, got the new canopy today. It's pretty fire. We'll have the new canopy up. We'll have the heaters going. We'll have breakfast of some sort going as well. We'll tweet out the picture, do all that fun stuff of where we're at. Come on by, say hi, have a shot or two. Make my wife uncomfortable would be great. And then, yeah, go Hoosiers. So anything else you want to add, Seth? Seth's not coming. This is, thank God.
I know. I was going to say, I was thinking about it. If it was 5-0 versus 4-1, I was going to have a hard time passing it up. But
yeah, no, you're not allowed to come. Be sure to check out the pod on Twitter. It's at Podcast LEO. Be sure to download, rate, review, and follow on all of our platforms. You guys know the drill. Do it. Just do it. And if you've done it, unfollow us and refollow us and do all the cool stuff. And we love you guys. LEO.
Leo.
Elio.
Leo. Awesome day. Leo. Thank you so much, Rick. I appreciate that. Leo.
All right, great. Leo.
Appreciate you guys. Leo. You're welcome, Dave. Have a great day. Leo.
Have a great day. Leo.
Appreciate you being here with us. Have an awesome day. And Leo.
Oh, thank you so much. Leo. Well, thanks so much, Leo.
Hey, thanks so much, Mike. Appreciate that. Leo. Appreciate you guys, man. Have an awesome day. Leo.
Awesome. Leo.
Leo.